Let me ask you, the key people that you remember that contributed great either event, hole, design, name maybe is
Good or bad?
good or bad, either way, right? Because some of the questions we're asking you are generic, and some other people have talked somewhat on that, and others said, didn't say anything, or we never asked.
Well, the people that had some degree of influence on, well, great influence on this club were Gordon Vaughan, Sid Corporal, a man by the name of Miller. Can't recall his first name.
Is that Clarence?
Not Clarence Miller, but Miller.
Okay.
He instituted and brought forth the pool, which we all bought bonds on, and then the bonds were repaid, and we have a pool. Jerry Sindelar had an influence, Fred Porter, Vic Ermo, we used to have a 12-man board, and it was very unwieldy. And I remember being on that board in the 60s and the 70s. And God bless his soul. But Herb Davis was on the board, and he brought up maybe 20 recommendations, and none of them ever passed.
Herb always brought out the fountain on the Hazard Lake. Every year at the annual meeting, he wanted to put a big fountain out there, no matter what. It never came to be.
And one of the reasons why, and he got very angry with this, his son was caddying, and he came up to the 9th hole here, and of course the kids were in the pool playing, jumping up and down, yelling, screaming, having fun, and he is carrying his heavy bag, perspiring, and he quit on the guy at the 9th hole. And he went swimming. He said he was sick. Anyway, then we passed a rule called the Davis Rule that no member, son or daughter, could work at the country club. And he got very angry with that, and he said he was going to quit, but he never did quit. And they,
well, let's move ahead to the 90s, and you left your mark on the club as a president for.
Yeah, I was president for a long time. I was president for 8 years. I think nobody else wanted the job or something. But we did some good things. We revamped the pool area. We enlarged the locker room and put wooden lockers.
It's wonderful.
Which I think is high class.
Yeah, outstanding.
We enlarged the men's grill and the card room. We screwed up the Tillinghast room. I don't think there should have been a sunken bar in there. I think that was a big mistake. If they just had a nice room there, it would have been much better. We wasted a lot of money there. I think the halfway house where it's at now at the end of the maintenance shack aided in speeding up play for the 10th hole. I think we did a lot of good things. We might have messed up a few, but it's always good to look back at the good things and forget about the bad things.
Any particular memories stand out in your tenure as president, or?
No, the only thing that stands out was that the board consistently voted me as president, which was sort of like a vote of confidence that I was here every day. I knew what was going on. I fired 4 managers for many reasons, stealing, ineptness at their job, like playing video games on their TV, people not working the times that they should be working. I mean, we would have a big party up here, and no manager is around because he had a date going somewhere else. Not once, but twice, but when the 3rd time came around, he was gone. I had one manager that, interesting incident. I was at the Rustic Restaurant, and Judge McCrone came in, and he says, "God, you guys are great at Lakewood Country Club." I said, "What do you mean, Judge?" I says, "I just had your manager, and he paid a $250 fine with a Lakewood Country Club check." And I says, "Oh." And I think a lady by name of Bailey was the comptroller at that time. And I said to her, "What's the manager paying checks?" "Oh, he pays a lot of things like that." So I started looking into it, and I saw there was a $8,000 check written to the Detroit Tigers Club, and then there was a check for $800 written to the Columbia, just as Columbia Market. So, and they were all signed by him. So I called them down and I said to him, "What is this Detroit Tiger thing here?" "Oh," he says, "I'm paying that back." I says, "Well, you got this a year ago. I don't see anything being paid back." I said, "What is it?" He says, "At my father's 65th birthday, I bought him 2 season tickets to the Detroit Tiger." I says, "Oh." And I says, "What is this Columbia Market?" "Oh, it's the Columbia Market on Columbia Road." I said, "But it says records." So he bought from the Columbia Record Company, allotted the discs to play in his $800 worth. So I says, "I'll tell you what, R&R, you're being removed, and there's restitution to be made by you. You pack your stuff and go." He says, "Can I drive the car? How am I going to get home?" I says, "I don't know. You just give me the keys and that's it." And the car was filthy. He had a station wagon. His dog was, well, anyway, he was gone. And he stole, well, we didn't pay him his vacation pay and everything else, so we got nearly 90% of our money back, and he paid the 10% because he wanted to get a job somewhere else, and he didn't want to have this stigma on his.
You mentioned some of the difficulties you had with club managers. Any good ones during your 50 years that stand out?
Well, I think Sam was a good manager. At least for me, he was a good manager. For other guys, they didn't like him, and that's how it goes. It's a personality thing. The manager that I liked the best was, and I can't remember his name, but he was a German or a, do you remember him?
No.
Had an accent.
No, I don't. That must be before.
Well, I can't remember.
But,
You know, these things come and go, and when you're in double snowman, you forget some of these things.
yeah. Sam was outstanding.
Yeah, Sam did the best
Set the-
job. He did a
set the
good job.
standard, really, that I don't think running the club for parties and organization, and everybody was thrilled with him. He set the standard that I don't know if it's ever been really maintained.
Oh, we had some doozies. We had guys who were bombed on the job, and
But, you know.
so they were gone. Easy come, easy go, as I say. I think the golf course today is in the best shape I've ever seen it. I think the greens are absolutely terrific since they put the new irrigation system in. And I think Jim Noel, to me, although I love Charlie Lott he's done a better job than Charlie Lott. Charlie Lott's motto, keep it green. As long as it was green, it was fine.
The water chairman,
Water, yeah.
superintendent.
Well,
You mentioned, you know, how each year you'd have a new green committee chair and they'd want to leave their mark on the course. When I first joined, I started hearing something about Packal mounds on number 11. Is there a story that goes with that?
Packal mounds. Those mounds were always on 11 in the middle.
Right?
The mounds on the right-hand side were put in there and designed for, because first of all, I think it covered up, we put those, it covered up the gas well pipe.
Yeah, that stanchion.
And the other thing it did, I can't recall who got hit, but the ball went through the rough and hit somebody on the number 14th, and they were just put there for safety reasons and no other reasons at all. They weren't put there to, maybe they weren't designed properly, but they didn't. No one has been hit since. And I don't think I was chairman. I think I was president then.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know, get that squared away. I mean, if I'm going to get.
No, I wasn't trying to be nasty or anything.
No, and I know you weren't, but I just wanted to make sure that the record
Set
was
the record straight. Right.
straight.
Why they were put there. And
Yeah, that's why they were put there. And I can't remember who got hit, but he got hit in the groin, and he was walking very stiffly for a long time. God, what was his name? Oh, well.
And there's a little corner in our men's grill that's known as Packal's Corner. What's the story with that?
Well, I had nothing to do with that. I think the board of directors, when I left the board and they remodeled they just they named it, I think it was Bill Bartell and Bud Stanner's idea. They were on the board, so that's what they did. And I sort of like that when they put Packal's Corner there. You know, I look at it, and I never sat in my corner, but now they got a whole bunch. They're going to wall that up now.
yes, the firewall.
Are they going to do it on the outside or on the inside?
On the inside, where that TV is, they take that out, then they're going to put the wall
They're going to put brick up in there, huh?
brick in there, and then they're going to put a firewall, the half-inch cement, fire-resistant wall that it'll stop that there, and that'll be done there.
And that's
going to do that, I think, after next year. They're trying to get that done because they don't want to do it now with the holidays and everything. It just tears everything up. So they want to do it maybe in January internally over a 2-week shutdown, or they will do it next spring.
If anybody only knew.
A little piece of paper.
I cannot believe. I sit there and I say to myself, stupid, stupid, stupid.
Yeah.
But that's the way it goes. I wish I could remember some of the things I wrote on some of these people.
Well, like I told you, if you do a rewriting of any of those, no matter how few or how many, please get those to us, because those will be in the archives and documented and brought out.
See, I could have put this on the computer, but I'm not that, I just...
None of us are too well on that. That's the kids and our grandkids do that.
As we're wrapping things up, John, I just thought of a couple of other names that have come up in other interviews. How about Manco and Payne? Do you have any stories about those guys?
Oh, a lot of stories. Now, Bob Payne was like the sea lawyer. You know what a sea lawyer?
No.
Or a watchdog of everything around here. Number one, we could have had an extra 9 holes built by Jim Carney if he hadn't alarmed everybody at the club, because Jim Carney was going to be rewarded because we were going to give him a piece of land that he could develop to be more valuable to him than the land that he was giving us. And he was going to build us this 9-hole golf course. And Bob Payne stifled that. And of course, it never happened. Bob Payne was noted for his golf shots. He said, "What are you using, John, on old number 12?" And I said, "I'm going to hit a 6-iron. He says, "I'm hitting a 9-iron. And he would close that 9-iron to like a 4-iron, and he would pride himself that he hit the 9-iron onto the green. Manco was known as the sandbagger